GED Science Free Test. Question 1. Which process do plants use to convert light energy into chemical energy? Respiration, fermentation, photosynthesis, transpiration. Photosynthesis is correct because it converts light energy into chemical energy, glucose. Respiration releases energy, fermentation is anaerobic breakdown, transpiration is water loss. Question 2. How does an increase in surface area typically affect the rate of a chemical reaction? It slows the reaction. It has no effect. It speeds up the reaction. It stops the reaction. Increasing surface area exposes more particles for collisions, speeding up reactions. Slowing or stopping would oppose basic collision theory. Question 3. During which phase of the cell cycle does DNA replication occur? Mitosis, cytokinesis, interphase, anaphase. DNA replicates during interphase, S phase. Mitosis and anaphase separate DNA, cytokinesis divides cytoplasm. Question 4. Why does a dropped object accelerate toward Earth at 9.8 meters per square second? Due to magnetic attraction. Because of gravitational force. From atmospheric pressure. Because of nuclear force. Gravity causes acceleration at 9.8 meters per square second. Magnetic, atmospheric, or nuclear forces are irrelevant here. Question 5. Which organelle is primarily responsible for cellular respiration and energy production? Nucleus, ribosome, mitochondrion, Golgi apparatus. Mitochondria produce ATP via respiration. Nucleus stores DNA, ribosomes make proteins, Golgi modifies proteins. Question 6. In a food web, what role do decomposers like bacteria and fungi play? Primary producers. Primary consumers. Break down dead matter. Top predators. Decomposers recycle nutrients by breaking down dead matter. Producers make food, consumers eat others, top predators are at highest trophic level. Question 7. What happens to the pressure of a gas when its volume decreases while temperature stays constant? Pressure decreases. Pressure stays same. Pressure increases. Pressure becomes zero. Boyle's law, pressure increases as volume decreases at constant temperature. Pressure decrease would happen if volume increased. Question 8. Which genetic term describes two different alleles for a particular trait? Homozygous, heterozygous, recessive, dominant. Heterozygous means two different alleles. Homozygous equals same alleles, recessive equals masked allele, dominant equals expressed allele. Question 9. How is an ionic bond different from a covalent bond? Ionic bonds share electrons. Covalent bonds transfer electrons. Ionic bonds transfer electrons. Both share electrons equally. Ionic bonds transfer electrons, covalent bonds share electrons. Option A is wrong, sharing is covalent, B is backward, D is false. Question 10. Which layer of Earth's atmosphere contains most of the ozone layer? Troposphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, stratosphere. Stratosphere contains the ozone layer. Troposphere is weather layer, mesosphere meteors burn, thermosphere is very high. Question 11. Why do individuals with a genetic advantage in an environment tend to survive and reproduce more? Because of artificial selection. Due to natural selection. From genetic drift only. Because of mutation pressure. Natural selection favors advantageous traits. Artificial selection is human-driven, genetic drift is random, mutation pressure introduces variation but doesn't directly cause this pattern. Question 12. Which human activity is the largest contributor to increased atmospheric carbon dioxide? Deforestation. Cattle farming. Burning fossil fuels. Rice cultivation. Burning fossil fuels releases the most CO2. Deforestation and cattle farming contribute but less than fossil fuels. Rice cultivation produces methane, not CO2 primarily. Question 13. What force keeps planets in orbit around the Sun? Electromagnetic force. Nuclear force. Friction. Gravity. Gravity keeps planets in orbit. Electromagnetic force affects charged particles, nuclear force holds nuclei together, friction opposes motion. Question 14. Which blood type is known as the universal recipient? Type A, Type B, Type AB. Type O. Type AB has no antibodies against AB antigens, so can receive any type. Type O is universal donor. Question 15. How does the pH scale indicate acidity? Lower pH means more basic. Higher pH means more acidic. Lower pH means more acidic. pH 7 is strongest acid. Lower pH equals more acidic, higher pH equals more basic. pH 7 is neutral, not strongest acid. Question 16. In a controlled experiment, which variable is deliberately changed by the scientist? Control variable. Dependent variable. Constant variable. Independent variable. Independent variable is changed by scientist. Dependent variable is measured, control/constant variables are kept unchanged. Question 17. Which structure in the human heart prevents backflow of blood? Septum. Ventricle. Valve. Atrium. Valves prevent backflow. Septum separates chambers, ventricles pump blood, atria receive blood. Question 18. Why does ice float on liquid water? Ice is denser than water. Ice is less dense than water. Ice has more mass per volume. Ice repels water molecules. Ice is less dense due to hydrogen bonding structure, so it floats. Denser objects sink. Question 19. Which type of rock forms from the cooling and solidification of magma? Sedimentary. Metamorphic. Igneous. Fossiliferous. Igneous rocks form from cooled magma/sedimentary from sediments, metamorphic from heat/pressure, fossiliferous contains fossils. Question 20. What happens to chromosomes during meiosis that does not happen in mitosis? They condense. They replicate once. Crossing over occurs. They line up at equator. Crossing over occurs only in meiosis 1, condensation and replication happen in both, lining up at equator happens in both, metaphase.